Hi, my name is Jacob Coopersmith. I went to Flatbush High School. Right now, I'm at Yeshivat Eretz Tzvi, and next year I'll be going to Cooper Union.
I'm Joshua Fleischer from Teaneck, New Jersey. Right now, I'm at Ritter with Coop and Ellie over here, and I'll be going to Binghamton University next year.
My name is Ellie. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio. I'm also at Eretz with them. And next year, I'm going to be going to Case Western Reserve University.
Hi, I'm Francesca Margolis. I'm from White Plains, New York. I went to Frisch. This year I'm in Midmo, and next year I'm going to Binghamton.
I'm Julie Kirschbaum. I'm from Scarsdale, New York. I went to SAR and I'm going to Binghamton next year.
Amazing. All right. It's great to meet you guys. So I'm Harry. I'm from LA originally. I did not have the privilege of going to a yeshiva day school, so I went to a high school in LA called Harvard Westlake. Then I went to Harvard College, and then after college, I'm an only Jewish child, and my mom wanted a doctor and a lawyer, so I became both a doctor and a lawyer. So I went to the University of Miami for medical school, and then I went to NYU for law school. And now I run a company called Alma. We are a mental health company, so we help mental health providers like psychologists, clinical social workers, psychiatrists. We help them run their business and take insurance. We're basically like the back office for them. We help them find patients. We help them negotiate contracts with insurance companies. And then we have technology that helps them, do all the work of taking notes and submitting their claims and all that kind of stuff. And we're about 800 employees today. We work with about 22,000 providers in all 50 states. We've raised a bunch of money to do that, like venture capital money. So that's kind of my industry, what I do. And I'm the CEO of the company, and I'm really excited to get this time with you guys. I heard about this program through Rabbi Krause, Daniel Krause, who I don't know, Francesca, if you know the Krauses, but I know they're Frisch kids. I think a little bit younger maybe than you. Their oldest daughter, I think, is a senior this year or a junior. But Rabbi Krause is one of the rabbis at Kehillat Jeshurun KJ here in New York, which is where I go to shul. And my kids are at Ramaz.
So I'm going to turn it over to you guys now. Why don't you start off by showing a few of the slides and giving an overview?
Our project is called Beyond the Base. Our goal with the name was to take the learning from most kids' Israel gap years that they're doing in like the base to college, right? They're going to secular college. Huge switch, can be really, really difficult. So our goal was to help them out. So we can go to the problem. Right now, there's a lack of support for religious Jews on secular college campuses. For most projects that are on college campuses at the moment, they're all geared towards helping not as religious Jews become more religious, become more affiliated, and build their Jewish identity. We took it in a different direction. We, as gap year kids in Israel ourselves, and worried almost to go to college and sort of lose the Jewish identity and lose the easy access to learning all day, thought to solve a different issue. We wanted to help provide support for kids who make this crazy transition from learning, for some kids, 10 hours a day, that's what we do, to a Binghamton experience, or really any college experience that obviously has much less and no real Jewish learning provided for them. Right now, our vision is to pair religious students across secular college campuses to learn Torah in order to make their college experience more meaningful and capable of continuing their religious growth. So the solution we brought, we're building an app that connects religious students coming from religious backgrounds on a variety of secular college campuses to help continue their learning and connection to Judaism. It's going to allow students to build relationships with individuals like themselves who are a minority on most college campuses to share experiences, struggles, and successes. This app, having this chavruta that you can go to, however often you schedule it, is really, really helpful. It's going to hold kids accountable. It's going to help them build a relationship. It's going to help them figure out what to learn and when to learn it. I think the big goal is to help facilitate connections and networking among Orthodox Jewish students.
I'm just going to speak a little bit about the target audience. It's religious college students. It's people like me. It's people like Josh, like Ellie, like Francesca, like Julia, people that are in this year and are learning and are growing, and we want it to continue. So we're going to have this app. They're going to fill out this easy, simple form where they're going to say how many times do they want to learn. Do they want to learn once a week, twice a week, once every 2 weeks, once a month? And they're going to say, what do we want to learn? Do we want to learn Machshavah? Do we want to learn Tanakh? Do we want to learn Gemara? We're going to set up people who have similar interests, who want to learn the same things, want to learn the same amount of times, and we're going to set them up together. Very simple, very easy, and very straightforward. I want to ask you a little bit about we had this KPI set up of we want to get 50 students for the first semester, which just means 25 chavrusas, and over 3 years we want to get 500 participants. I know there are thousands that go through the same experiences that all five of us are going through, that are going through yeshiva, that go into college, that lose that spiritual growth that they gained. And I just don't know what I should be expecting of my KPI. We have a bunch. What do you think our KPI should be?
I would turn the question back to you, which is, if you think about what you've articulated so far about what success looks like, the way to think about this sometimes is like if you were going to write a pitch deck for your next investor, what would the pitch deck say happened between now and when you were trying to raise that money that would get them excited to invest in the next phase of your growth? So my guess is it's something like the number of people that are participating, the number of active users you have. You can think about how you model active users, but you probably could look at what's the sum total of all day school graduates in the United States. And then you haircut it. You say, okay, well, of all of them, maybe 50% are genuinely, committed to continuing their learning. And I think I can get to 20% of those. That seems like one, active users. And the second, it seems like, is hours of Torah learned, right? Because this is also about not just how many people are engaging with the application, but how much they're learning. So you could imagine going to a future investor and saying, I was able to get 5% of all day school graduates, 200, 500, 1,000, I don't know what the number is, to learn last year. And they were able to combine to do 10,000 hours of learning. So those become sort of the statistics that you would be proud to tell a future investor so that they would be excited to give you money for the next round of funding. If you were pitching me in 2 years, after this had come to light and you'd had your first year of students, what story would you want to tell me that you think would be the most likely to get me to give you $1 million, right? That's how I would think about the KPIs. You want to think about something called total addressable market. What's the total addressable market? How many kids do you think there are entering college next year from homes, from like religious, right? And you could maybe look at gap year enrollment. I'm sure that there's numbers on gap year enrollment. You could look at a graduating class size. Like you probably know between you all, like the 20 top yeshivas in the country, Hebrew Academy in Miami, whatever it's called in LA. How big are the classes? Add them up, and that'll give you your total addressable market. And then you can kind of haircut from there to give yourself a good goal to say, I want to get to 10%, for example, of all the day school graduates or something like that.
Thank you. So we plan to start this August, right before the semester starts, get it word out, and hopefully we'll have some people sign up before the year and during the year, and especially during Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur and during the high holidays. We want to get people already learning, especially because it's such an important time to learn. So in yeshiva, I have my chavruta, and I learn with him a lot. But I also have the rabbi that I could go back to. So we want to add in, it's all personal. If you want it, you could have it. If you don't want it, you don't have to have it. But shiur is based on, we'll have one rabbi giving a shiur once a week on this topic, and we'll have another rabbi give a shiur once a week on that topic. That'll be a little bit later on. But if we could get enough people interested in that, if enough people want it, we want to definitely have it, because it's a good way for you not to only connect with your chavruta, but for you to connect with a group of people. So you could discuss with a group of people about something, which in turn makes you learn more, makes you understand more, and makes you more connected to this Jewish identity that you built this year and that you'll hopefully continue on for the rest of your life. We're looking to connect religious and religious. We're taking already kids who are set in their what they want. They're set in their beliefs. They're set in their values, and they just want to continue it. They want a better way to continue it.
I kind of want to add about the market analysis is that I think no matter how similar anything else is, and I really don't think there's much similar to what we're doing, we're already at a competitive and marketable advantage coming like to college this year as gap year kids who are very, very much so relatable and friends with so many of the people who are going through the exact same situation as us. So even with connections and relatability, we know what everybody's going through, and we really do know how to kind of get kids interested in what they want and what they're feeling. So we're able to cater our app and our program a lot more to the accessibility of everybody.
Thank you. And so now let's get on to advertisement and marketing. There's three main ways. Number one, Instagram, being active on social media, especially for kids our age. We're constantly on it. We constantly see what's happening. And so we're going to create an Instagram account. We're going to get in touch with Israel Gap Year, which has thousands of gap year students following it. And we're going to get in touch with a bunch of our friends and a bunch of different programs and schools. We're going to team up with yeshiva, SEMs, high schools to get them in touch to talk about this, because it's not just us who don't want this to just be a year. It's everyone who wants this to not just be a year. We want this to be a time where we could build our religious selves and connect it on through. And so by connecting to all these different places, we could spread the word, not just in during the gap year, but even before, while talking to the high schools. Yes, is the gap year is important. Yes, learning in yeshiva and SEM is important, but what's I would say even more important is continuing it throughout your life. And so that's what we're going to try to do. And also, we're going to have ambassadors from different college campuses to post flyers, to inform their friends. And the more we get, the more it will spread. Is there any other idea of advertisement that you have?
My experience with these things is you have to have your super users in the beginning, right? This is going to date me, but when I was at Harvard, Mark Zuckerberg was a year ahead of me, and we were in the same fraternity. We were in API together. And I was the first person to ever write a letter to Mark Zuckerberg accusing him of political intervention using Facebook, because there was a student government election and my friend was running against his friend, and my friend's Facebook page went down, and I wrote an open letter on our API listserv saying, Mark, you're using Facebook to try to advance political aims. And I got the first reply from him. So I feel very proud of that fact. But if you look at it like Facebook, right, what was successful was it started locally. It started with just a few people who really love the product. So, if you think about the best path forward, right, you're not gonna, nothing gets built in one day. So you want to start small with a group of hardcore users who love your product, right? Think about Amazon when it started. Amazon's just sold books. They didn't sell diapers and everything else in the world, right? They just sold books. So start small and try to find your power users. Maybe it's just 50 kids from the yeshivas that you're part of, and you're committing as a group of 50 people to learn 5,000 hours of Torah next year, and build that because you're gonna have to learn. Your product's also not gonna be perfect at the beginning, so you're gonna need the feedback. You're gonna need the kind of friends that say, hey, you should add this feature, you should take this away. So don't go crazy on advertising in the beginning. My suggestion is try to stay really tight, but with a group of power users, super users, who are going to be able to ultimately become your ambassadors, because that's ultimately, if you try to go too big too soon with a product that's not ready for prime time, it never works.